because I'm looking in this cupboard. It's where I keep like all my garbage bags, compost bags, and my thinking is that it's really wild that we put our garbage in plastic and then we put that in the landfill, and I can be minimizing my trash as much as I can, but then I'm still putting it all in a plastic bag. And I have a box of 100 trash bags. And then I have this box of 40 of these big black ones. I don't even remember why I must have bought these when I was moving, and I think I put all my clothes in, like all the clothes from my closet, in big garbage bags to move them. And then I have these compost bags, and compost is like a really tricky situation for me. My building that I live in, the apartment building that I live in, does not offer compost. I think for whatever reason, my apartment building, and I don't know if this is like all apartment buildings, but they have to pay for waste disposal. Like it's not the normal city waste disposal trucks that come. So my hunch is that my building manager, the owner of the building, doesn't want to pay for the extra service. And so what I do, and why I need these bags, is that this is my compost bucket here, stainless steel, and I put a bag in it because I actually take my compost to the neighbors. It's another apartment building and they have a big compost bin. So I bring the bag over, and I always feel like I'm breaking the law. Like I truly feel like I'm acting like illegally, but it's because I don't feel like I just can't ethically put compost in the trash. Like I haven't done that in most of my life. Like as far as I can remember, my mom and we were composting from, like, we used to put it in our garden. And so anyways, all this to say, I have like 3 different types of like plastic. These are meant to be compostable. Like these are the compost bags, they're compostable. But I've heard that there's actually a difference between compostable and biodegradable. And this, I'll need to fact check this, but what I've learned about compostable is that it breaks these bags into teeny tiny little pieces, whereas biodegradable actually like turns into like an organic matter. So my thinking is that I need to find the larger bags, the larger biodegradable bags, to replace these, because then I am still collecting a little bit of trash, but I'm not creating more plastic waste to dispose of said trash. It doesn't end. It just doesn't end. What do you do? What do you do? Tell me. I'm back on the floor, and I just wanted to show the different waste disposal groupings and kind of categories that I have at home. And I'm looking to simplify things, obviously, because I'm hoping to be producing less waste. But I thought I would show the current state of things and share a little bit about where I plan to go. So right now I have 2 like garbage cans, and that is my little bathroom one, and then my larger, this one's under the kitchen sink. So those are the 2 trash, like just simply garbage. I then have my compost, which I've already shown you. I've been using this, it's really heavy because I have a weight in this to push everything down. But this is where I've been putting my soft plastic, and I use the weight to compress it so that I can get as much in. But this is all rinsed and clean soft plastic. And then what I do when it's time to act, like when this gets full, is I'll sort it into the two categories, the soft plastic and the flexible plastic, and I'll take those 2 bags in for recycling. And so my hope is that, like, I can begin eliminating, like, I may, hopefully, like, in a perfect world, I don't even need this bin anymore, or I can downsize to a smaller bin. But yeah, so soft plastic is in there. And then the other more kind of these are maybe more interesting categories is I do recycle batteries, and there are lots of places around town that will take old batteries. So I just keep this under my kitchen sink. I don't go through very many batteries, so I've had this bag going for a really long time. The other is pens and markers. I know that Staples here in Canada accepts old felt pens and pens, so you can take them in for recycling. They have like a drop box. I haven't done it in a really long time, obviously, well, not obviously, but I don't go through a lot of pens. But that is just sort of a random category, but you don't actually need to throw these in the garbage. So if you didn't know that, it may be worth looking into where in your town, in your city, you can recycle pens. And then this, also pretty random, but last year I was doing a ton of beach cleanups just on my own time. And recently I've done a couple, just like when I'm out with my youth clients, I make kind of the challenge for us to pick up 10 pieces of trash. And what I was finding is that a lot of it I could sort and recycle or put in the trash, like, because they're large, but a lot of the time I'm finding like really tiny pieces of hard plastic. So I actually don't have a solution to how to effectively recycle some of this. Like, ultimately it's all recyclable, but my thought is that I could like fill this container and then just actually recycle this entire container. But yeah, so that's just like I don't know how to deal with this yet, so I'm just keeping this container going. It's gonna take me a really long time to actually fill it. I know organizations like Surfrider, they recycle this type of plastic all the time. So I also have the curiosity, like if I were to bring this to like one of their beach cleanups, because it's all from beaches, would they just take my plastic and recycle it with the rest of theirs? So that's what I'm working with. So my plans are to begin composting my bathroom tissue and stuff like that. And my other plan is to substitute these white plastic bags for biodegradable bags. So not only am I eliminating some waste from the bathroom, like that doesn't have to go into the landfill, it can be composted. But then I'm also not adding more plastic to the landfills. With the trash bags, I'm using like a biodegradable option. So those are my kind of to-do lists. And then obviously just like minimizing how much plastic I bring in. One thing I didn't mention is my building had, like right outside my door is the paper, metal, glass, hard plastic recycling. So I don't actually keep a bin in my apartment. I just, like, when I go through stuff, I just walk it down the hallway. These are the things that I kind of have to manage on my own. So that's the rundown. So I was talking about the difference between biodegradable and compostable when I was talking about the difference between compostable and biodegradable when I was talking about my compost bags. And I'm just reading online, and I actually think I had things backwards. So this article is saying that although biodegradable materials return to nature and can disappear completely, they sometimes leave behind metal residue. On the other hand, compostable materials create something called humus that is full of nutrients and great for plants. In summary, compostable products are biodegradable, but with an added benefit. That is, when they break down, they release valuable nutrients into the soil, aiding the growth of trees and plants. I think I had things flipped when I was talking about it before. And so it sounds like the ideal is to find a compostable product because they have this humus in it that is great for the soil, great for plants. Certain biodegradable products can take several years to break down and in some cases even leave toxic waste behind. Plant-based plastics, for instance, are often labeled as biodegradable. While they are meant to break down more easily than regular plastic and be safer for the environment, if the right environmental factors are not present, it might just take as long as regular plastics. 100% compostable, and they've got that seal of approval, compostable. What comes to mind is like, you know, when you go and you get those like plastic biodegradable utensils, I mean, you have to wonder, like, how does that break down? Like, and for how long? So I think ultimately the solution is reusable products, or like really natural, like the bamboo, for example. Like, we know that bamboo is a natural product. I don't know if they add anything into it to make it a little bit more like withstanding for time, but yeah, like I just think in general there isn't like a quick, easy, no-brainer. Like, we need to use our brains still, and they're there for us. So that's your lesson of the day. You're welcome. I wanted to do a very quick grocery haul because I'm heading out in a second here, but I did a little stock up, not a huge grocery shop because I was actually feeling a little overwhelmed with like proteins, and I didn't do any meal planning for the week, so I was kind of going in blind, but I did have a small list. I ended up getting more things than I anticipated. Anyways, from Bulk Barn, I got dried mango. I also got dried apricots, and I also from Bulk Barn got chia seeds, because I've been loving chia puddings, and I've been going through these like wildfire. So those 3 items from Bulk Barn. I then went to the Zero Waste Emporium and I got frozen blueberries, so that's really cool. I haven't been able to find frozen mango, and it doesn't sound like they typically carry it. So I'm just working with what they got. They also had raspberries, banana. There was another frozen fruit. It might have been peaches. Anyways, I'm just gonna have to diversify. That's okay. From the Zero Waste Emporium, I also got baking soda. So I'm almost out of this guy, and I thought, oh, like no harm, no foul. It's in cardboard. But I'm trying to adapt the mentality of like not just eliminating plastic, just eliminating unnecessary waste. So I don't need to buy the cardboard version when I can buy the bulk version and use a container that I already own. So that is that. I was also able to find at the Zero Waste Emporium a gluten-free granola. So I'm excited about that. And I ended up having more containers than I even needed. So that was from the 2 bulk stores. And then I just went to Fairway Market to get my produce. And so I got some very green bananas, some green grapes, oranges with the plastic stickers, unfortunately. I ended up getting a field cucumber. So these typically have a thicker peel, which I will likely peel off or peel most of it off, but it doesn't come wrapped in plastic like the long English cucumbers. So that's a new one for me. Red pepper has the plastic sticker. Green onions, which have the elastic bands. I save them. I don't always use these teeny tiny small ones, but I do save them. 2 fresh mangoes. I'm like a fiend. These have paper stickers, which I appreciate. And then the last item was chocolate, some dark chocolate. And what I really like about this Lindt Excellence is that it's wrapped in foil and paper. So both of those I can recycle just in the regular blue bin. So that's that. I was feeling like I wanted to buy I wanted to buy a tortilla press, and I wanted to buy the corn flour to make my own tortillas. And then I remembered that I still have some tortillas to use up. So I'm finding that I'm getting a little impatient with like using up things in plastic. Like I just want to get on track to plastic free, but bit by bit I am really getting rid of a lot of plastic from my cupboards. Eventually I do want to show you how things are looking. I did notice that the Zero Waste Emporium sells tofu bulk, so you just put it in a container, which is really cool. They also, I saw cheddar cheese in the same way. So I just want to spend more time in those stores and like really sink my teeth into what they have and what I can begin to kind of expect to find on a regular basis, because right now I'm still like feeling limited because I'm like, I know what I need to get rid of in terms of like all the things that are wrapped in plastic, but I haven't exactly found the solution yet. I've just found a lot of the problems, and I'm slowly finding some solutions. So I gotta go. That's it for now. I'm just leaving the mall where I was shopping for some compost bags, and I secured the compost bags. While I was there, I was also looking at a couple different stores for more jars, and also a few glass bottles for kombucha that I'm making. And luckily, I didn't find anything. And I say luckily because while I was doing the shopping, I kind of had this like wake up call where I was like, why am I not trying to find this used? And I think it speaks to a few things, but one is like sustainability can take shape in a lot of ways, and not just like reducing, but also finding like used options, because you're giving something a second life or a third life. And so my thinking is that I will go to a couple of thrift stores and see if I can just pick up some jars secondhand. I may need to buy like new seals, but still I think it's worth exploring. I also was thinking like Facebook Marketplace, or even like there's a few zero waste groups on Facebook, or even like free groups for free stuff on Facebook. So that's another option. So I'm glad I didn't find anything, and I'm glad I didn't buy anything. And not only will it hopefully save me money, but it goes into the broader concept of sustainability. And for me, a lot of this is about slowing down and not necessarily going with like the quick fix, the fast solution, which would be to just buy things brand new. And the reality is that I'm not in a rush. There's, no time constraints here, so I can put a little bit more time into like finding the right option. So that's where we're at. So yesterday I made some kombucha. I didn't actually show you adding the SCOBY, but the SCOBY is in there and it's just tea and white sugar. And this will sit on my counter for around a week, maybe a little longer. And then I will do the second ferment where I'll add, I think I'm gonna do either a lemon and lavender or lemon and ginger. I can actually do both. And I put up a post on like a Facebook free group for some bottles with the lids. Oh, that's hopefully just water. And so a woman just came by and gave me these two old Prosecco bottles. Yeah, they definitely still smell like Prosecco. So I am going to give these a good wash and let them just dry in the sun. But that was so cool. I didn't have to buy anything. And these bottles, they just come with like such a good little lid with the seal. So, and that's great. And I think those will be really good to help the kombucha get really nice and fizzy. So that was a win. These are free. I'm likely going to need a couple more bottles, but I still have lots of time to figure that out. And I'm just so grateful. And we had a really nice chat outside. So win-win, yay community. Something else that I wanted to briefly chat about was, it's something that I'm noticing that more and more companies are doing. It's when companies are blending different types of packaging. And so I'm going to show you 3 examples. But what ends up happening is that I think that these things end up just being garbage, because there is no way that the consumer, me, can pull apart the 2 different types of materials. One is these K-Pasa chips. So you can tell this looks like paper, but it's then lined with plastic. So the inside is actually shiny plastic. So at first you're like, oh, it's like an eco kind of vibe. It's like paper, it's recyclable, it's compostable. But I was looking everywhere on the package to see if like maybe it's a compostable material. It doesn't have any indication that it's recyclable or compostable. So I'm just really let down, because this does really look like an eco-friendly type company, especially because they've got like the whole grain, the gluten-free, the organic, the made in Canada, like the non-GMO. It's like, yes, 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 yes. And then it's like, oh, but you're mixing 2 materials together that then make this just garbage. Another example is something I also own, is this sushi rice. And it's probably a little bit harder to tell with this packaging. But this is like a paper texture. It feels like paper. And then you can see that it has this little window and it's plastic on the inside. So again, it's like paper on the outside and the shiny plastic on the inside. So again, I don't even think that I could mix this with my soft plastic, because it's not just plastic. It's 2 materials combined. And then this one is slightly different, but it is this giant cloth bag of jasmine rice from Costco. And when you open it, here, I'll show you. It had this really big plastic bag of jasmine rice inside. Now, I bought that a long time ago. It's lasted a really long time, but now I'm stuck with this bag. Aesthetically, not my vibe. I'm not going to use this as like a purse. It's impractical. It's actually really poorly made. Like the stitching's coming out. It's not meant, I don't think, to be like used. I think it's meant to be like an easy way to carry a large amount of rice. But I have no idea what to do with this now. It's like this sturdy material. It's likely some sort of synthetic plastic It's not like cotton or anything like that. But it has like a fully functional zipper. So again, it's like you see it and you're like, oh, cool, cute, whatever, but also super wasteful. So those are kind of the 3 items in my pantry right now that I'm like, those might end up just in the garbage, unfortunately, unless I read some kind of fine print somewhere that's telling me that I could like plant this in my garden and grow rice. Probably not. So a win with the bottles and kind of like some learning here with all this packaging. I am really going through my plastic packaging, and that feels really good. Like I'm really eliminating a lot. I'm recycling it all, and I'm slowly adding plastic-free options into my pantry, but we're still in it. We're in the thick of it, and there's growing pains. I thought I would wrap this video up, but I think the most exciting part that I get to share is the plastic I've accumulated throughout the week. So I'll show you the whole contents of the last 2 weeks. It's in this bowl. And so we already know about the spoons. We know about these plant tags, fruit stickers. I can't remember how many of these we had, but basically I've accumulated more of these guys from the lids of my plant milks. So creamer, soy creamer, and oat milk. But I did today pick up a glass bottle from the thrift store that I am going to bring to the Zero Waste Emporium, and they make their own almond milk and oat milk. So I am gonna give theirs a shot. I'm still pretty tied to my creamer for my coffee, but I am looking forward to swapping out for a zero waste milk option. So these guys, a few more fruit stickers from the oranges that I bought. I didn't talk about it, but I did find, I had to replenish 3 types of vitamins, and one was an Herbaland compostable pouch, and then 2 were the Sisu glass bottles, and I've only opened 1 so far, but this was the safety seal on one of the bottles. But what I appreciate is that this kind doesn't have the sort of spongy styrofoam in the middle. It's just the flexible plastic. So I will add this to my soft plastic recycling. And then at the thrift shop, I also bought 2 articles of clothing, and they have these little tag fasteners on them. So it's really hard to show you, but you know what I mean. And what I think I'm going to do with these at the end of the month is add them to that container of small hard plastic that I will dispose of altogether. So again, I'm feeling really proud that I'm keeping my plastic down really like a lot. I have not purchased anything in a soft plastic bag. If anything, these are just like the little extras on packaging. So I do feel like that's a win. Feeling good about that. I think this week I've really been trying to conceptualize living sustainably from like a larger perspective, and it's so easy to like move from just focusing on plastic to like the larger sustainable pace of living. And for me, that has just been, opening my eyes to as many multi-use products as I can find and eliminating my single-use products. And so that's, I'm still in the process of like using what I have and and then just trying different things out. So for one example, and I'll get into this more next week, but parchment paper, coffee filters, tin foil, things like that. I'm looking for ways to find reusable options because at the end of the day, we just consume too much stuff. So I'm going to end it here. This was a bit longer, but it's a journey, and I'm so grateful for those of you who are along for the ride and who are possibly feeling some inspiration from my journey here. It's a shared journey. I really do feel like you are with me here and that I have the support of this community. So thank you for giving this video a thumbs up if you took anything away from it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next week with week 3 of my plastic-free May. Okay, bye everybody.